History, Chapter 2, 20th Century, Age of Conflict. Chapter 2a, First World War. Let us go to the 20th century. Introduction. The 20th century scenario was rife with significant events. There was a fierce competition among European imperialists which led to dire consequences. There was use of destructive weapons, arms, ammunitions, tanks, warships, machine guns, and lethal explosives on a large scale. In the wake of war, many nations saw despotic rule. Fascism and Nazism raised their ugly head, disclosing narrow-minded and negative dimensions of governance. Why is the 20th century called Age of Conflict? 2. Age of Conflict. Negative dimensions included: the beginning of the 20th century had been full of fundamental changes, so it is considered to be the age of conflicts. Boundaries of several nations in the world changed dramatically. Armed conflicts involved death of lakhs of people. Positive dimensions included tremendous progress in the field of science and technology, destruction of despotic reigns, spread of democracy, experiments in internationalism. Let us compare the merits and demerits of the age of conflict. Age of conflict. Merits: progress in scientific arena. Despotism was put to an end. Successful experiment of democracy and internationalism. Demerits: boundaries of nations changed. Death, devastation, destruction witnessed. Ambition, disbelief, rivalry, and ill will showed negative side of man. Beginning of the conflict. The age of conflict began with the First World War in 1914. The situation in the European continent became explosive because of over-ambitiousness of the nations, mutual disbelief, rivalry, and ill will. What led to the First World War? The First World War. The war which began in Europe in 1914 is called as the First World War because it witnessed the direct or indirect participation of a big number of nations, including India. Causes of the First World War. The causes of the First World War which ultimately resulted in a worldwide conflagration. Imperialism of the European nations. Aggressive nationalism, militarism, diplomatic groupism, Kaiser William II, division of European nations into two groups, political complications in the Balkan area, immediate cause of the war. Let us study in detail about the imperialist powers of the European nations. 1. The imperialism of European nations. During the 19th century, the Europeans supported colonization and economic imperialism. The growth of industries in Europe led to a search for markets outside Europe to sell their industrial products.